All right, guys, last open workout 15-5. This is going to be a fun one. 27, 21, 15, 9, row for cows and thrusters. A lot of people are saying the burpee thruster is worse. Um, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. It depends on how hard you can push. I think this one has the ability to hurt worse if you're willing to go there. There's no reason to, you can't stop on the rower. If it hurts bad enough on burpees, you can stop. On the rower, you can't stop. You can slow down, but you can't stop. So I think this one has the ability to hurt a little bit worse. So we'll see after we get into it. And you have to start off with that bigger set of the thrusters. But yeah, we'll see. Um, so starting off with the nutrition, you definitely want to be in a fasted or semi-fasted state on this. You don't want to have much in your gut, so I'm recommending 90 minutes, 2 hours before or more if you're comfortable with it. 20-ish grams of lean protein, maybe some chicken or turkey, or maybe even a protein shake if you're used to that before a workout. And then 20, 30, 40 grams of easy sugars before, easy carbs. I like a Larabar, some kind of fruit. You don't want something with a bunch of fiber or anything like an apple or something like that, but maybe a banana or a Larabar, something like that. 90 minutes to 2 hours before the workout. About 200 grams of 200 milligrams of caffeine. 40 to 60 minutes before the workout. So this can be coffee, it can be your normal pre-workout, whatever it is you normally take. Don't want to take it too soon before, or kind of a little bit sooner than that before. Just because you don't want to be too jacked up, you just want to have that caffeine in your system to kind of get you alert, get you ready, get your coordination up a little bit, and also to delay the fatigue onset. But you don't want too much caffeine just to get all jacked up for this one, because you're going to want to start off at a controlled pace. So sip on some BCAAs. You don't want too much water or aminos in your system. You don't want to chug a bunch. 5-10 minutes before. You don't want to have to be going to have to go to the bathroom or a full bladder. You want a completely empty stomach. Again, like we talked about in some of the earlier workouts, you want all your blood to be going to your extremities, so you can get blood flow to those legs and the arms to keep pumping and keep moving. You don't want your blood to be going to your gut to digest stuff. Warm up, 10 to 15 minutes of aerobic work. A little bit longer. We want to get the aerobic system, the aerobic enzymes moving, and get a good sweat going. So I would mix up, don't just stay on a cyclical movement, but mix up cyclical with some movement prep exercises that are opening up the shoulders for getting overhead and open up the hips for the squats. Also warm up that bending motion, maybe some glute activation exercises. An example that I've listed here: row 2 minutes, 15 light kettlebell swings. Again, I would focus on keeping pretty stiff leg on those kettlebell swings, so you're getting that good bend and drive with the hips, and then focus on getting that head through at the top, stretching out those shoulders overhead. 10 kip swings on the pull-up bar, focusing all on the shoulders, activating and pushing and pulling with those shoulders. 10 step-ups and 10 shoulder taps. Again, this is just an example. You can do this a lot of different variations. You can do walking lunges, you can do handstand walks, you can do bear crawls, you can do banded X walks, just a variation. Just keep moving for 10 to 15 minutes, getting that blood flow and getting a good sweat going. And then the specific prep, I wouldn't worry about doing a heavy thruster or anything like that. I would do 3 sets of about 10 calories and then 5 thrusters at a little bit higher than your race pace. So a little bit higher than you're planning on starting off. For those 27 calories, I would go a little bit faster than that, just to kind of get that spike in the heart rate and get that fast breathing pattern going into the thrusters, and practice that fast breathing pattern. This is going to be a high breathing rate workout, so you want to go ahead and get that going, get that practice in your warm-up, so it doesn't shock you and shock the system when you get into the actual workout. You're not going to be able to control that breathing really low, so don't try to force it to stay really low. Accept that it's going to be a high breathing rate, get after it, and just keep moving through it. Rest 1 to 2 minutes in between sets. Don't want full recovery there. I want to still keep this in the aerobic system and aerobic warm-up. So just 1 to 2 minutes rest, and then a little bit longer rest after your last one, and then hit the workout. Just some pacing and strategy tips. Know your pacing on the calories per row. Most of us do meters, and so we're not used to looking at that calories per hour pace. So play with that beforehand, maybe the night before or the morning before. Play with some pacing on that. Figure out what your kind of 80-85% effort is, so that you're not just kind of just going off feel. We do want to go a lot off feel in this workout as far as pacing, but having a general number in your head of what you kind of want to stick to is a good idea. So play with that beforehand. Set the damper just a little bit higher than what you normally set it on. When you're going for calories, you're going to want to pull and get a little bit more per pull to get a little bit higher power output, a little bit higher wattage, which is going to give you more calories. So play with that a little bit. Don't turn it up right before your workout, and that'd be the first time to pull it because it's going to feel heavy and it's going to shock you a little bit. So play with that again beforehand. Again, focus on breathing through your belly at a high rate. Don't worry about trying to slow it down too much. Just accept that it's going to be a high breathing workout and get into it and go for it. Just because you're breathing high doesn't mean you have to slow down or stop. It just means that's the rate of the workout. Know your abilities on the thrusters. So if you know for 100% you can do the thrusters unbroken, I would say do that and go a little bit slower on the rower. Obviously, don't go slow on the rower, but if you know you can do the thrusters unbroken, do that and pace the row accordingly based off that. The time that you're going to lose on slowing down the rower a little bit, I think is going to be worth it, as opposed to having to drop the bar, take a break, and get back on it. That is depending on the person, obviously. Still, you don't want to go at an extremely slow rate just so you can say you did it unbroken. It'll be smarter to break it up and keep the pace a little bit higher. You just have to be confident and disciplined to get back on the bar quick. So if you are breaking up from the start, like I said, if you didn't do 14.5 unbroken, I would say it's not likely to do this one unbroken because of that first big set of 27. So I'll go ahead and break it up from the start. 10-9-8 or 15-12 on the first set, and then 8-7-6 or 12-9 on the second set, and just grind it out from there. But I would say break it into sets. There should be no forced reps, and there should be no finishing that last rep, grinding it out overhead, dropping it, and then going to your knees on that first set, just trying to get an extra rep here or there. Break it before you have to do that. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths, get right back on it, and get going again for another set. Especially in that 27 and 21. If you're taking long breaks in that 27 or 21, you've gone too deep into that hole too early. So break it up where you can keep a short break and get right back to it and keep that pace up pretty high. I would say this is just kind of a random number, but do your best to get it in 3 sets or less, as long as you can keep the break short. Again, I think if you are in the 27s or 21s and you're having to take really long breaks, I would say you've gone too far. So I would say keeping the break short is more of a priority than keeping it to 3 sets, even if you have to do 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, or whatever adds up to 27. Break it into smaller sets and keep those breaks short so you can keep that bar moving and get back to that rower. No force reps, again, causing those long breaks. Setup and apparel. Obviously, your bar should be right by your rower. Have a good smooth rower. Make sure you're not using an old janky rower with the chains all jacked up and whatever. Make sure it's a good rower. Preferably a rower you're comfortable on, one you've used several times, just so you're confident in it and you feel at home. Set your feet where you like them. Don't just hop on there and start going. Make sure you set it up properly. Set the damper a little bit higher again than you normally do. Not a lot. Don't go from like 5 to 10. Just do a little bit higher. Have a judge reset your rower every time. So the website said you can reset it or the judge can reset it. So have your judge reset the rower to 0 when you're on that last rep or finish that last rep of thrusters. Should be right there in his reach for him to reset it, he or she to reset it back to 0. Let them do that so you don't have to worry about it. Wear weightlifting shoes if they help with the thrusters. If you don't need them for the thrusters, then don't worry about it. But it's definitely not something where it's like they help with the thrusters, but they hurt on something else. They can also help on the rower. So if they help, go ahead and wear them. There's no reason not to wear them unless you're just as comfortable in tennis shoes. Um, I found that for me, I don't go quite as low in tennis shoes. I still get below parallel, but I don't have to go quite as low. And I'm flexible enough to do the squat, so I actually kind of prefer the tennis shoes. But if you need weightlifting shoes for thrusters, go for it. I see no reason not to wear those. Have the straps on your feet set to where you can get in and out, but they're tight enough for you to row at a good pace. So you're not going to be sprinting on the rowers. They don't have to be super tight, but you don't want to have to waste the time of adjusting and playing with the straps every time you get in and out. So I would say try to set them at a tension around your feet where you can still row at a good pace, but you don't have to mess with them to get in and out of that rower. So just a couple things to think about. Hope that helps. Have fun with this last workout. Hit it hard and go into that dark place one last time.